Usually,
Mhm.
that's the key word. It's
Right.
it's like songs. It's we hear the same stuff, but it's written best different way you can, or movies, etc. Different kind and different different entertainment. But wrestling, it's just it's still the same scenario, face versus heel. The wrestle different matches, so you try to rewrite the best you can with different people, but it's hard to for the last so many years to sit there and pretty much think that this is all different. Well, if they just tweaked it out, a little different scenario, got a little creative with it, put different guys into it. So I mean, I agree that there's similarities, and I know what you're saying, but there's also like or there's that they've done things this before, but they're always going to do this things until there's going to be different matches in time, but there's always going to be that similarity different but it's also going to be different if I'm making sense at all.
Well, okay, and what I mean by like doing things over, because I mean, there's only so many things you can do in wrestling. It's been going on for so many years. It's almost impossible to not have similarities or duplication at all. It's like, okay, it's Moxley and Omega, and they're in another barbed wire match. Cool. That's what I'm getting at. It's almost the same setup. Instead of maybe like, and I get it, it's part of Moxley's character to do the barbed wire, but maybe do something a little bit slightly different as opposed to using barbed wire. Why can't Kenny Omega and Moxley be in like a boiler room style match? And it doesn't have to be a boiler room, but you know what I mean, like a backstage match. Or
they could do that at another time, but I think it'd be more entertaining to have them inside the ring. But the one thing on a little bit of a side note, I was a little bit surprised. Cage match is fine too. The thing I was surprised about was that Moxley didn't make the match. It was Omega that actually made the match. I was a little more surprised by that one more because the heel usually is the one that, oh my god, I don't want to be in that match. Holy crap! Oh no, I don't want to. Oh, no. That's the kind of heel act you got out of a heel, and this time the heel wanted the match. They called for the match, so I personally didn't like that. It was supposed to be boxing. Moxley's known for that kind of stuff. So he should have been the one to make the match, and he's the babyface. So that's why I was not a fan of I didn't watch Dynamite till probably, I think it was 2 days after the show. Friday, I think it was. I watched the show, but I heard about this match already off online online stuff. This is going to happen today. I didn't read all what was going on, but I was okay. Match Moxley challenged him then, but then I turn around, see the show. It's Omega challenge. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like that's the heel should be reacting very more scarcely than anything else, and the babyface be challenging the heel to that kind of match. Especially it's the babyface kind of match. So I didn't like that scenario part of it, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be entertaining, but I don't think it's not what I would. It's not my necessary favorite cup of tea. This kind of matches, you don't really have to have them, but that's just me. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, we got to have them." That's cool. You want it? It's just your cup of tea, entertainment. I just don't think we have to have it, but now we got to see how they're going to react to the match. It's one thing Bully Ray said on his show, like today. They whatever day was he said it that as long as they don't overuse the explosiveness and so forth, build up to it. I'm like, exactly, because they already messed that up enough times on different matches. I don't mean AEW, I mean wrestling in general, wrestling companies. Mm-hmm. It's like you have these spots, you don't overuse it. Like Last Man Standing is a good example he's talking about. I don't understand why they knock somebody down 2-3 minutes in the match and it's already they're counting. I'm like, well, I should let the match go for a little bit and then you start going for the count. So that's why I say that for. But anyways, it's gonna be an entertaining match. It's gonna be one for the books.
And
it's just a rough match. So
yeah, it will be. And again, I just don't see the necessity of having barbed wire attached to it.
Oh, here,
yeah,
I understand.
That's my main gripe against it.
Yeah.
The other thing is apparently, did you see that Sammy Guevara caused some problems between AEW and Impact?
Yeah, heard about that. With there was a storyline pitched for Impact. He was pitched to, and he turned it down. He didn't like the idea, and I guess it was the idea came up with by Jericho and Don Callis, and I think it might have been another person or two inside Impact Wrestling, and they weren't too happy about that. And hey, I mean, what it was. So I don't know what the storyline or what was bad about it. I details out of it, but if it wasn't good for him, and Lord knows, that's one thing I don't like about Chris Jericho. As or even anybody per se with this. If it's not for you, it's not going to work, then don't do it. Just because you're the legend, say Don Callis as well as Chris Jericho, doesn't mean it's going to be the perfect storyline. So if he felt it would for him, it didn't match for him, then maybe it didn't. But I don't know exactly. He's in position to turn stuff down. He's not gonna. For him to lose a spot, it ain't gonna happen. I mean, most likely I can say. So I understand. I don't know. So once again, I don't know what the spot was or what the storyline was or what may be. I know he had pitched an idea to win the X Division title and keep it for a while, and they didn't want that either. So I don't know specifically what they pitched on.
So what I heard, it was something to do with Decay, which I don't know if you remember Decay, but Decay was a group that had like Abyss and all that in it. And back in the day, Abyss, Crazy Steve, Rosemary, things like that. I see here, and here's the thing I find ironic about Jericho getting mad at Sammy about it. Jericho has turned down ideas from WCW and WWE in the past because he's like, well, this doesn't make sense. Why would I do this kind of thing? He's definitely evolved his character as well, even with some bad ideas. But the idea that he's mad at Sammy because Sammy's just like, no, this doesn't make sense. It's not a good fit for me. I don't understand why Jericho would be basically a hypocrite about it.
I hear you. As Jericho made it, you got to follow my storyline. I believe part of, like I said, he said it's something involving Decay. And to me, that doesn't make really much sense just by you saying that, but I didn't see the script.
I didn't see the script. It was just a report that I read that it said something along the lines report the idea that Sammy Guevara turned down was him joining Decay. And it's
why would he do that then?
Why would he join Decay? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't.
If that report is true, so why would he do that for?
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't make sense. Why would he join the? See, for me, if I was to send him down to Impact, one, I do think the X Division him winning the X Division title and defending it between Impact and AEW is actually a really good idea. It gives a different perception to the shows at that point. Secondly, if I was not going to do that, I would team him up with Trey Miguel, the guy that used to be part of the Rascals that's doing a singles thing. Because nothing against Trey Miguel, but I think a tag team between Sammy and Miguel would actually make sense on paper. And if they are competing both in Impact and AEW, honestly, to me, it makes sense. Even if it's not Miguel, pair him up with TJP and Fallah Bahh or someone like that. There's so many other things they could have done, and honestly, Decay is probably the worst one that I've seen.
Yeah.
If you're going to send... Sorry, go ahead.
Good. No, good.
If you're going to send anybody at all down to Impact for them to join Decay, even if it's not necessarily for their want, I think Sammy Guevara is probably really, really low on the list of people that it would make sense for.
Yeah, that's if that is the truth of what the report is. Yeah,
And this is the thing. You're an independent contractor. He gets to choose what he does and doesn't do.
Oh, yeah. And, I think part of it is just ego thing also on Jericho as well as Don Callis and whoever else involved. But more or less, what Jericho had the idea for, pissed off the idea. I think it's an ego thing, honestly. It makes sense to have that.
And here's another thing about Jericho. I do sing his praises a lot, and I will fully, own that. I'm getting a little scared of what it seems like Jericho's becoming. Jericho feels like he's becoming the second coming of Hulk Hogan in a way. What I mean by that is it's pretty much Hulk Hogan was it's my way or the highway type of thing, and he's showing signs of being that way as well. And it doesn't help the fact that Jericho went from being a very much in shape guy to looking like a washed up drunk alcoholic rock star. And it's not good for anybody. It was just a few weeks back, but he attempted a lion salt, almost landed damn near on his head. Now, of course, the next episode he does a lion salt again and brags about the fact that he made it. I get you. Lion salt's not an easy thing to pull off. I don't think I would be able to do it. However, if you almost land on your damn head, stop doing the lion salt. No, stop it. You have the Walls of Jericho, which is something you can still do. It's a submission, easy to do for you. You have the Code Breaker. Again, that one's you're just dropping on your back. You can easily pull that off. And then you're doing the Judas effect, which, sorry, man, don't really like the finisher. But that's another one you're using to protect your body. I get it. It makes total sense. If I was a wrestler up there and my body's aching, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try and wear down the ones that I probably shouldn't do because either I'm going to hurt myself or somebody else or protect my body. Stop doing the lion salt. You're not in shape enough to pull it off and not hurt yourself and get close to hurting yourself.
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, we both respect Jericho, obviously. All due respect, great talent, legend. A lot of accolades, etc. Absolutely. So it just more or less, what you're saying, I agree with. But I said there's an ego problem there, and I understand that. You can have an ego. I don't believe in that stuff. I don't care who you are. You don't need to. You're a person. But
as someone that's on TV, they have to have a little bit of an ego to kind of cover up any kind of misconceptions of lack of confidence in themselves.
Well, I mean, I guess it's more or less that's a confidence. You don't have to have the big ego. It's just that, like, hey, I'm sure Jericho. I'll do. That's what I mean by that. It's just you can have that type of like confidence thing, but don't mess it up with total ego. That's what I'm getting at. I don't believe it to have that kind of ego. It's just. I think that's where he expects. Well, but if I have a storyline, anybody should take it. No, that's because you're right. Storyline or pitching an idea is, that's from what was gathered on the online. But if we want, go ahead.
And that's what I mean. Like, he can be upset that hey man, I created this idea. I thought it was great for you. I don't like that you don't like it. You could be upset. I mean, that's reasonable. Anyone that creates something is going to be a little upset when someone else doesn't like their creation. That's fully forgivable. But to have a presence about you like, oh, well, he's a dick because I wrote him a good storyline and he said no. Nah, man. It just didn't work out because it didn't, there's differences in opinions there. Anytime you're creating some sort of project, you're going to have a difference in opinion. And I'm sad to say you should, Jericho, as you in this situation, you should understand that because you pitched ideas to Vince McMahon that he didn't like. And you didn't get to do what you wanted to do. And, you guys, okay, this is like not like I'm telling on you, but you even went around your Vince McMahon's back to try and get the Styles Clash in there because you're like, oh, it's over. We should definitely do this. That's in a disagreement with someone else that said, no, don't do it. So, don't be so mad at Sammy.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally agree. Absolutely. I don't know what's going to happen with Sammy in the future. One thing he did do a week ago, I think it was a week ago, not that he quit. Wow, brain part. The Inner Circle.
Right.
Something that you liked or I'm sure you liked it, is that instead of him walking through